Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. I think it's safe to say that the Soledar question was answered and that the Wagner group solved that puzzle, which is one fight. Unfortunately, all the Ukrainian soldiers defending Soledar, according to Wagner group, were exterminated. So they're coming out for me. What's next? So why was that important, and what's next after that? What are the implications of losing Soledar for the Ukrainians, and what are the implications, obviously, the advantages that what doors will open this victory for the Russians? This article comes from Sputnik, and it's from today, the 11th of January 2023. Now remember, this is from the Ukrainian side, so they will push towards their advantages and interests. Victory in Soledar opens door to liberation of all Donbas, DPR lawmaker says. So Russian forces have established control over Soledar, a town lying around 18 kilometers, that's about 10-11 miles, from Bakhmut, Artyomovsk, which has recently become the linchpin of the Russo-Ukrainian standoff. And I'm quoting, Donbas is the main direction of the offensive now. As you can see, it goes on the Artemovsk-Soledar-Seversk line. Vladislav Berdichevsky, a lawmaker of the Parliament of Russian Donetsk People's Republic, DPR, told Sputnik. So it opens the door for next one is Bakhmut. And I'm quoting, this is now the first line of defense from this side. On the other hand, there is Marinka, Krasnogorovka and Avdiivka. There is also a very tense situation there now, but so far there have been more positional battle there than in Soledar Artemovsk. Soledar is almost under control now. Well, it is already, but this guy did not probably know at that time. Why? There's video available with Wagner group troops and Prigozhin being in the catacombs in the salt mines of Soledar and in the center of Soledar. So you can put it, it's not there, but I think it's already done. All right, so a mini cauldron was created there, close to the west of Soledar, end quote. Acting head of the DPR, Denis Pushilin, announced on Tuesday that the Wagner Group private military company, PMC, has gained the center of the town of Soledar. That was Tuesday. Now is Wednesday, it's all over. Pushilin noted that Ukrainian troops had been suffering serious losses but continued to resist. Prigozhin said that he hopes that the Ukrainians will surrender. But today he made a statement that they did not surrender, so they killed around 500 Ukrainian forces. On Wednesday, Russian forces managed to spread their control over the rest of town. A fighting cauldron had been formed in the center of the city, where urban battles are taking place, surrounded, according to the company's head, Yevgeny Prigozhin. The liberation of Soledar will not only pave the way to the taking of Artyomovsk, which is Bakhmut, but would also ensure the liberation of other parts of the former Donetsk region, including Slavyansk, Konstantinovka, Druzhkovka, Kramatorsk, and further north, according to Berdichevsky. Well, it seems like the Ukrainians positioned most of their defenses here in Soledar and Bakhmut, and once this is cleared, I don't know what and from where they're going to bring extra defending troops. And I'm quoting, it is important to grind this line of defense now. Ukraine most combat ready units are there. Well, how the hell I knew? I didn't read this before, but anyway, I think it was obvious. But anyway, Ukrainian special forces are participating there, and in principle, everyone is pulling up there, end quote, the DPR lawmaker said. And I'm quoting again, judging from obituaries, there are a lot of dead there, including border guards and policemen. That is, various units are involved there. They seem to be thrown there all the time for support, and they are crushed there by our troops, end quote. Well, yeah, but your troops die too, don't they? Well, now, Makivka attack and Christmas ceasefire. Well, we don't care about that one. It's when the Ukrainians blew up those 90 Russians because of the phone call, and then the Russians returned the favor with the same kind of thing, blowing up, 400 or so, or 600 Ukrainians. Russian offensive. The Russian military is making progress on the ground, even though in the very beginning of the special military operation there were certain setbacks, according to Berdichevsky. And he's going to tell us why the Russians were not making advancements lately, or at least it was about 5 months, 6 months, nothing happened. And I found that very interesting, but not impossible to believe. But probably that's why they say it. To illustrate his point, the lawmaker noted that at the initial phases of the conflict, Russian troops did not have enough unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, which had earlier been instrumentalized by both Ukrainian and Donbas military personnel. And I'm quoting, for the Russian troops, it was a surprise that the 1st and 2nd Military Corps of Lugansk had drones, that they actively used them, and the Russian army relied on satellites, as they used to do in Syria. So what this guy is saying that drones are more effective, at least here, than the satellite communication and supervision and monitoring, finding targets and sending missiles and so on. So it seems like it's going to be a fight between drones. So that means the tanks will be kind of obsolete, because you're going to blow them and all this with drones. $20,000 drones blowing up I don't know how many millions of dollars tanks. I think it's a good deal, right? Economically speaking, financially speaking. Now I'm quoting again, but here the situation is different. Ukraine has a lot of unmanned aircraft. They use them more actively. UAVs have already been tested on the front lines. So it seems like they had adjusted to the whole thing. Moscow managed to quickly fill this gap. Russia made Geran 2nd and Lancet drones. Drones are being successfully used in Ukraine now, so they counterbalance. And the Iranian drones, hey, Shahed kamikaze now. Don't be a weasel, right? Because we know, because Ukrainians told us, Zelensky, and he would never, ever lie to anybody. Okay, likewise, the coordination between Russia's units and the understanding of the situation on the ground has been elevated to a new level, according to the DPR lawmaker. And I'm quoting again. Likewise, the coordination between Russia... No, I already said that. And I'm quoting. I see great prospects for Russia, said, okay, the mobilization units are being trained, and their number at the front is somewhere around 30% of those who were mobilized. So only 30%. They are being trained and undergoing combat coordination. Therefore, we hope that the Russian offensive will be kicked off in the near future, end quote. So that means only 30% of what? 180, or how many they mobilized in the last one, not 300,000. But anyway, that means if it's only 30%, according to this guy, now probably it's about 50, but he downplayed to say, oh, like I would say right now, like a weasel, hey, they got 70 more percent. Oh, when those are coming, you are dead meat, man. No, I think it's more than 30%, but hey, what do I know? I thought they said that 80,000 at one point, about a month ago, 3 weeks ago, something like that. Time flies too fast. About 80,000 Russians are already on combat duty from the guys that are mobilized. I think Shoigu said it about 3 weeks ago or so. So 80,000 out of 180,000, I think it's not 30% by my calculations. It's about 40 or 45%. But anyway, so be it. If the Russians need more troops, they got them. They got at least 30 million ready over there. You know how they warm up on the side of the football pitch. They train over there. They warm up. So that's, I think, those guys are. So anyway, now we know it was a big mistake. that the Russians were not prepared for, using satellite communication and detection instead of drones. Now they switched to drones, and they seem to do better, according to this guy. Now he's not the god of war here, telling us who's who and what's what, but at least I think he makes some points, good points about what's going over there. And what's next over there? According to these guys again, once the Russians are blowing up Bakhmut, I don't know what's going to be next. I don't know from what parts the Ukrainians are going to bring to block this, I don't want to call it blitzkrieg, but whatever, breaking the not the law, but breaking the front, and let the Judas priests alone with breaking the law. But anyway, we'll see, because if you take from other areas, these guys are going to come the other way around and going to encircle you, and you're dead. All right, like in Stalingrad. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.